Hey everybody, it's Professor Hatch. Excuse me. I am here to talk today about the research paper, the big ugly research paper that I'm asking you all to write. So let's talk about that real quick. It's a big project, so this will be a slightly longer video. I'm still going to try and keep it as short as possible. I'm going to share my screen. So this is the research paper prompt. Uh, in any case, after numerous class discussions, viewing Ava DuVernay's documentary 13th, reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' Between the World and Me and Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, and various class handouts, although I'm not sure how many class handouts I'm giving you this semester, but whatever. You are now tasked with reading a variety of scholarly sources to develop a thorough understanding of how systemic racism occurs in one of society's various institutions. And this can be education, medicine, criminal justice, entertainment, the fashion industry. There is systemic racism literally in every corner of our society, and not only in this country, but obviously all over the world. Probably focus on this country, though. In any case, with this information, you will then write a research paper that includes all of the following: an introduction that includes relevant background information about how systemic racism works within your chosen field. One body paragraph providing a thorough description of systemic racism. Two body paragraphs illustrating examples of how systemic racism operates within your chosen field and what some of the consequences of it are. So two different examples, one example for each paragraph. Three body paragraphs, each one which proposes a solution for combating systemic racism within your chosen field. And finally, a body paragraph, well, not finally, a body paragraph that specifically states which of those proposed solutions is the best solution and why. And then finally, a conclusion that summarizes your essay and ends with a call to action where you inform the reader as to what they should do with the information you've just presented to them. Okay, so this is a 9-paragraph essay, which is considerably larger than any other essay I'm asking you to write this semester. It's a lot of work. And for that reason, this whole research project is going to be broken down into 7 overall assignments. And those assignments are the proposal, the annotated bibliographies, 2 of those, the research outline, the research rough draft, and the research final draft. Outlines, rough drafts, and final drafts you are at this point thoroughly familiar with. And then also there's the final research presentation where you will make a presentation to the class, but I'm actually going to make a separate video for that. The proposal only needs to be a paragraph or 2. There will be detailed instructions in all of these assignments, and I'm not going to talk about them. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is just the essay itself. And as always, when you're working on essays in this class, you can make use of the student essay template, which is right here, already pre-formatted for you. You will obviously have to tweak it a bit, but hey, whatever. And then I'd really like to close this now. There we go. And then there, obviously, this video will be here with a words video coming sooner. Anyway, let's look at the requirements. No less than 2,000 words. This is a lot of words, but I mean, we're talking about a 9-paragraph essay. If you follow the outline, which at this point you should be painfully familiar with, and give me everything that the outline asks for, you should be hitting the 2,000 word mark pretty easily. So anyway, 2,000 words minimum, no more than 2,500, please, just because 24 essays is a lot of reading, and I have like 5 days to get my grades turned in for the entire class, all the classes I'm teaching this semester. Anyway, well, moving on. Oh, 2,000 words minimum, plus a title page, plus a references page. Both of those, again, are in that essay template. You just have to tweak them with the relevant information. Your essay must contain no less than 7 academic sources, at least 2 of which must come from the chosen works mentioned above, specifically the documentary 13th, Between the World and Me by Coates, or The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Additional sources are optional, but they need to be academic in nature. They have to come from scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Your essay must present a clear, arguable thesis statement in the introduction that clearly states your chosen field and your proposed solutions. Your essay must define systemic racism. Your essay must discuss no less than 2 ways in which systemic racism occurs in your chosen field. Your essay must propose no less than 3 solutions. Your essay must compare and contrast your chosen solutions and choose one of them as your preferred solution, and then, APA format and all that. The successful paper will do the following. This is kind of repetitive, but I include this stuff in every essay. Well-defined thesis statement, provide evidence that demonstrate the theme, college level grammar, spelling, blah, blah, blah. Well-organized body paragraphs, blah, 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 and come to a conclusion that offers a call to action. Please do not write in the second person you. Please do not pose any rhetorical questions. If there's a question mark in this essay, it needs to be in a quote. And then please do not use quotes that are longer than 4 lines. There should be no block quotes in this essay. Okay, so that's everything I think I have to say about this essay, except that just to give you a hypothetical example, if I were writing this essay, I think what I would choose right now is systemic racism in entertainment. Even though Hollywood, we hear so much crap online about how Hollywood has gone woke, go woke and you go broke and blah, blah, blah. But I would argue that there is still all kinds of systemic racism within the entertainment industry, and we've seen videos in this class about media representation of people of color. We've seen the yellow face video, seen 13th and various problematic portrayals of people of color in Hollywood in the past. But we still have a problem with representation in media. I don't think it's ever been better than it is right now in 2024. But you still look at so much TV and it is still so overwhelmingly white. I mean, I'm not going to take the time, but I know someone out there has, because the internet is filled with people who do this kind of thing. Of all the entertainment that came out last year, TVs and movies, how many of those had all white casts or predominantly white casts where there might have been 1 or 2 people of color, 1 or 2 women, 1 or 2 queer people? It's going to be a minority, unfortunately. The number of properties where there is a wildly diverse cast that actually looks like the world we live in, those just aren't as common as they should be. So I would probably choose systemic racism in media. I would also, or in the entertainment industry, I would also look at ways in which the people at the top making decisions are still overwhelmingly white and largely male. I would look at the ways in which sometimes the crew in these films are overwhelmingly white and male. I don't think that's as true as it used to be, but I do, if I understand things correctly, it is still true. Anyway, what are some possible solutions for this? I don't know. Off the top of my head, opening the setup, having transparency to show people what the set looks like, to show people, just requiring people. I don't know if you can like legally require. I think that's actually probably a slippery slope, but like requiring, like putting public pressure on companies to have more diversity in casting so that we can see. Well, like, let's look at superhero movies, because of course I'm a nerd and those are always immediately available to mind. Yeah, Marvel has shown female superheroes in recent years, and they've shown people and women of color in those roles, but overwhelmingly their characters are still white and male. And the movie Marvels came out earlier in 2024, I think. It might have been late 2023, I can't remember. But that movie came out and I saw it. Honestly, it was no better or worse than most of Marvel's product. I enjoyed it, but what I think doesn't matter. But it just tanked at the box office, and honestly, I didn't see that it was drastically different from any of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy movies. So why do those do well, and this woman or this female dominated movie where we've got two women of color and the protagonists are all women. Why did that not do as well? And there are stories to be read about how there were online hate campaigns organized for months before the movie even came out, and so on and so forth. But why are these still not being made in larger numbers? Disney's got the money. Disney owns Marvel. They've got all the money in the world. Why is it that most of their movies are still looking at predominantly white men? And they're one of the companies that's like better than most when it comes to diversity and showing a progressive, more accurate display of what the world actually looks like. Anyway, um, do your own research. Feel free to disagree with me too. This isn't any important work. It's just a description of what one approach I would take. If I wanted to talk about the systemic racism in medicine, I could talk about how Black women die in childbirth more than white women. I could talk about how Black women aren't believed as much as white women, and certainly not as much as white men. Um, if I wanted to talk about the systemic racism in education, actually, I'm pretty sure I don't even have to come up with examples for you. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have experienced it or certainly seen it, um, even if it wasn't necessarily directed at you. So you get the idea. I had a student write about the systemic racism in the cosplay industry, which was kind of fascinating to me. That is a world I know very little about, but they pointed out that there was a real problem there. Anyway, what field do you want to look at? If you're a social science major or social work major, maybe you want to look at the systemic racism within the field of social work. Or maybe if you want to be a social worker in the education system or hospitals or whatever, you could look at the ways that systemic racism work in those fields. Um, you get the idea. This video is going on way too long at this point. Um, choose an institution, define systemic racism, give two examples of the way systemic racism works within that institution and what the consequences of it are, and then give three proposed solutions for ways to combat that systemic racism, and then what is the best solution, and then give me a conclusion. 9 paragraphs, and yeah, that's everything I need to say for this video. Obviously, if you have questions about anything, please text me on or mine 24/7, as you know at this point, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right. Bye.